Good evening, ladies and gents. I'm King George. I'm the owner of T.Y.I Productions. I am the curator of Black 31 magazine. Black stands for beautiful love, always carries knowledge. 31 stands for champion. Today we have another special brother from the community. This brother right here, he's not only a DJ, but this brother is also a host. So a host and a DJ. This brother has his own show on iHeartRadio. Um, this brother does a lot of creative things. I actually met this brother at a celebrity boxing event. He's actually the DJ for that event. So inside this interview, we're gonna get into all the things that he's doing now, all the things that he did in the past, and let's just have fun with it. So without further ado, can we give it up for brother DJ Khalil? Let's go.
Pew, pew, pew. What's going
Absolutely.
on, man?
Man, what's going on, brother? What's going on?
Thank you again for having me. I appreciate it.
Man, not a problem, man, not a problem. Um, First off, I just want to start off by saying, what does music mean to you?
Oh my gosh, that's such a freaking intense opening question. I feel like music is everything, man. It shapes who we are. It dictates what we believe and do. Music in general is just art, man. Creating good art, putting it out for the world to see.
Yep.
Um, it's obviously not just an auditory thing, but a visual thing. Seeing on display different artists from different backgrounds, whether it's the way they dress, the visual presentation they put in their music videos, or even just content out on social media. So yeah, man, that's a loaded question, but it's always played an important role in my life.
Absolutely, absolutely, man, absolutely. And and I just came to know that you are from the streets of Staten Island.
I don't know if that's something to brag about. Staten Island notoriously known for the Wu-Tang Clan, of course.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I've lived in Staten Island most of my life. I was born in Brooklyn, like a lot of Staten Islanders, and eventually grew up and was raised out in what they call Shaolin.
Okay.
Yeah, man, it's more suburban than the other boroughs, and I
Yes.
want to say kind of divided in the sense that like there's a north and south shore, and each particular location has its own different culture.
Hmm.
But yeah, man, at the end of the day, it's always home to me.
Okay. Okay. That's heavy. That's heavy. That's heavy. Listen, man. I love that, man. That's special.
Yeah.
Um, I noticed that you mentioned Wu-Tang Clan, right? And how special is Wu-Tang Clan? And just coming from that area of Staten Island, how special is them? How special are those brothers musically?
Yeah, I mean, listen, we're not known for a lot of things, or sometimes we're known for the wrong things, like the Jersey Shore or Mob Wives. So to have Wu Tang Clan, um, one of probably the greatest hip hop groups of all time, is really just an honor, man. I was around in their prime when they had like the Wu Wear store, and
Yeah.
they were just banging out solo albums on top of their work as a group. And it's
Yes.
funny because I wasn't necessarily a fan back then. I was young. I was more into like the stuff I heard on the radio. I'm gonna get a lot of flack for this, but like MC Hammer and dudes like that. But my friends at the time were, slowly putting me on to different things that Wu Tang was doing, and I guess I didn't appreciate, what they've done as until I got older, and now, man, I just love them. I think they were ahead of their time, and they're on tour now. It's their last tour, but it's they're legends in my book.
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What's
And
with the comments, brother? Some guy just
oh,
he just dropped an F bomb. I'm like,
I
is he
don't, I
talking to me?
don't know. I don't know what's going on. Crazy, right?
I don't know if he's requesting music or he wants his.
I don't know what that is. That's heavy. Um, I do got a good question.
Yeah.
Um, when did you first fall in love with music, and And when did you decide to start spinning records, and making and actually drawing that crowd to make the people feel good?
Yeah, so I got into music at a young age. I remember the first, I want to say CD I purchased. Actually, the first tape cassette they would offer like on like those little infomercials, like order now for the top 90s dance songs of the month. And I was
Yeah.
like, ooh, let me look into this. And
Mhm.
I used to deliver newspapers, and like if you got a couple of new customers, they would send you the top Billboard charts, and you could pick like two or three cassettes. So I remember, like, like I said, I was into like the pop stuff. So
Yeah.
it was like, I think like New Kids on the Block, and I remember even they had like Busta Rhymes, like his single. It was like the Woo-Ha single, Got You On Check. And
Wow.
I just so with the cassette tapes, and people back in the day, they would put them in their boombox and they would record off the radio. And so I would make my little own mixtapes, and I would record stuff from like movie clips and funny things. And
Okay.
then it progressed into CDs, and then Blockbuster Video was around, so like they would have like the top Hollywood soundtracks of the whatever 1990. So
Yes.
I bought like my first CD, and then I was into that Jock Jam stuff, which is like sports anthems at different games, and then I slowly progressed into, I guess, more of the underground music of especially specifically hip hop. Like
Yes.
when you were able to burn CDs like for your friends. So like I was becoming familiar with new artists and what have you, and I always wanted to play an instrument. And
Yes.
I tried like the drums for like a couple of weeks, and I was like, I don't have the patience for this. And slowly but surely, I started. YouTube came around. I started watching YouTubes on how to DJ and learning like the basics. And I
Yes.
would just go to different events and parties and set up. And I wouldn't make any money. I would just do it for fun and to learn. And sure enough, people were like, "You're getting good. You could get paid." And this is, I'm going on almost on my 20th year of DJing, so I'm an
Wow.
old man now.
That's heavy, man. 20 years in. 20 years in.
Yeah.
And you know it's crazy, man, because originally, like just like I was saying in the intro, originally, I mean, we met at a celebrity boxing event.
Hmm.
I just want you to elaborate on celebrity boxing. How special is it for the culture, and most importantly, how much do you love, DJing specifically for that event?
Sure. So tying back to the jock jam stuff, it was like sports and music. How can I incorporate these two? And I was always a fan of like pro wrestling and
Yeah.
mixed martial arts. So I had heard about celebrity boxing for a while, but I knew they were coming around here in the Atlantic City area. And I just hit up the CEO, Damon Feldman. Shout out to him. I was like, "Hey, man, I'd love an opportunity. I can't box, but I could, help with audio and music, and
Yeah.
I did one of the press conferences, and from there, I've been with them ever since. It's been a great time. It's important because I feel like it gives different people opportunities. Whether you're an amateur fighter, whether you're an up and coming artist, it's just like, man, you can showcase your work and put, for the world to see, and
Yeah.
that's an awesome thing. Damon offers a lot of opportunities for a lot of people, so that's really cool.
Absolutely, 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 brother. Respect that. Respect that.
Yeah.
um You know what? Like, how special is it for you to have your own show, and what do you love most about your show?
Yeah. I initially just started on a whim. I was like, man, I'm so sick of people like joking, like my name is similar to DJ Khaled, this and that. We're both Palestinian. I was like, how can I like, play off of that, but kind of like share with the world, like, I guess, my thoughts and opinions. I feel like everyone has one. Everyone has a podcast in general, but
Yeah.
I was like, back in the day, I would blog a lot, but like, how can I use my voice for the greater good, I guess? And I just started interviewing some of my friends or some of the different people and artists I was meeting at the time, and
Yeah.
it's cool, man, to have a voice. I think it's people take it for granted, because In other countries, there's certain things you can't say or do. So, in a world, I guess, of a lot of misinformation, in a world of, of a lot of opinions, it's just, um, it's really cool to have, like, you know, an opportunity to share a practical and balanced, I think, opinion. I think we need to have more discussions and more listening instead of just ramming stuff down people's throats and or offering, you know, our suggestions where they're not belong. So yeah, man, it's been an interesting journey. So I never wanted to get into podcasting. It just kind of like fell in my lap, and I'm you know, it's a real cool thing to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. Absolutely. Ah, man. Mm. So I do have a question. I have a
Mm-hmm.
good question.
Yeah.
Um, how does how does music, right? How does the music and the vibrations of music tie into mental health?
That is a good question. I have to think. So a lot of people don't know this, but I do work in the mental health field. And for music, for me personally, is like kind of an escape. You know, at the after working your 9 to 5, you need some type of outlet, and music and events and whatever hosting shows is therapeutical in a way. You know, yeah, I make good side money and I have a following, but it helps me, you know, overall and gives me like that level head where to the point, you know, I don't know if you're familiar, but I've started a nonprofit organization. It is geared towards people who wrestle with addiction, also mental health a little bit, and the whole idea is to provide some type of creative space, creative outlet for those who are struggling. Because I know throughout my years, throughout my struggles, that arts, entertainment, creativity has always played a major role. And if I could pass that on to others, man, I feel like there's, you know, like I said, music is really just it's so multifaceted. It's just so important nowadays. I feel, you know, like.
Yes.
It's really, you know, I think it should be implemented more in treatment. And, you know, I know there's art therapy and there is music therapy, but man, I feel like people just, you know, take it for granted sometimes. And it's such a powerful tool.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely, brother. Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely. Now, considering that you are from New York, and I know growing up in New York, you've seen a lot of different things, right? And,
Yeah.
and I just want to ask a community question because you know, Black 31, we community based. So I always got to
Uh-huh.
ask this I always have to ask this community question. How does brother DJ Khalil feel about all the gun violence that's plaguing the inner city youth right now and at this moment in time in all different places all over?
Yeah. Um, So, before, you know, well, while I was working in mental health, I did take kind of like a detour, and I was working in the Department of Probation with juveniles, actually. So, these were, you know, a lot of them were decent-hearted, sweet, smart kids, you know, that just kind of, you know, didn't have the proper guidance or surrounded themselves with people who were doing, you know, worse than them, and they kind of fell off track. So, you know, a lot of them were getting arrested, you know, 16, 15 years old for, you know, stealing cars, going on joyrides, you know, possession of weapon, um, you know, all gang assaults. So, a lot of times we would get repeat offenders, meaning, you know, like with the New York state laws, they're I don't say lenient, but they're catered towards kids to give them a second, sometimes third chances. So I would tell them like, hey man, you know, you're young now. You know, we all make mistakes. There's room for, you know, making those mistakes, but there's room to also grow and change. And a lot of them, unfortunately, wouldn't change. They would turn 18, and I would warn them, like, you know, you're going to get tried as an adult. Things will change. And unfortunately see some of them in the news, you know,
Hmm.
like getting caught up in the same or even worse things.
Right.
But occasionally we did have those, who said, "Hey, I'm going to go to college, or I'm going to go away to the Navy," and so there was like that dichotomy of people stuck in a system that unfortunately is like, I don't want to say is against them, but is not so much in favor of them because of so many different things, whether it's systemic racism or politics or just man poverty and social injustice.
Yes.
Um, so it's crazy to me because I think there's a lot of twisted mentalities and dare I say hypocrisy in the community where it's like, yeah, we're not gonna snitch, we're gonna have to retaliate against so and so, for whatever reason, and I didn't grow up in that, so I understand my role.
Yes.
Even as a DJ in the hip hop world or just the music world, like a lot of us get labeled certain things, and I want to help the community. I care about the community, um uh even I think as early as this morning, I was reading about Young Thug and the whole thing going on with them, and it's like
Yeah.
a lot of these, I mean, we've known for a while a lot of these artists portray certain things or do certain stuff for money or clout.
Yep.
And at the end of the day, man, it's like if you can just be yourself and be a leader than a follower, and I know that's sometimes easier said than done, man. But like, ah, man, I worry about the future, but I also try to invest in them, whether it is through my employment, whether it is through volunteer opportunities and mentorships and putting different artists on. I have a young artist who I knew through foster care, and to see him, he's a world renowned chef now and doing hip hop music,
Wow.
and we've maintained that relationship beyond our
Mm.
our big brother title, and that's
Yes.
been really cool to see, and I wish more people would do the same or care about the same things. Not to pat myself on the back, I'm just one large fat bull white guy from the suburbs, but like I said, I'm a fan of hip hop culture. I'm a person who cares about injustice and equality slash equity. So man, I feel like we have a lot to do, but I'm hopeful. I'm not hopeless. I feel like every generation, every group of people have had their ups and downs and things that have went wrong in South. But but I feel like there's people like you and your company and group and
Mhm.
others, whether they're church ministries or nonprofit organizations doing their thing. So it's a thankless job, but it's a necessary job, I think. And yeah, man.
What is your greatest memory? What is the greatest memory that you had on stage DJing? Where was it at, and what was you doing?
I have a lot of great memories. But I will say that probably my one of my top overall experiences, especially in the last couple of years, was I was actually going to retire and move along from DJing. I was DJing almost 15 years. There were some slow seasons ahead. I had some other opportunities I wanted to pursue, and I was just like, man, I'm over this. It's not really for me. I'm not having fun anymore. I was still getting paid, but just wasn't really feeling it anymore. I was doing parties I didn't really care for, and just not really much going on. So I started to in 2022 this was after COVID. I just started to revamp some things. Like, hey, let me try reaching out to this artist or this event. And even if I had to do stuff, pro bono, like I didn't mind as long as I was doing something that made me happy. And that's probably the greatest turnaround moment for me was like I finally got to do stuff I was interested in, right?
Hmm.
So I reached out to celebrity boxing. I hit up a couple of different festivals, and I got to work with like Joel Santana, Twista, various members of Wu-Tang, and this is like childhood dream stuff that, like, again, I didn't care if I was making money. I didn't care if I had a DJ for like 6 hours
Yeah.
until like an artist showed up. You know what I mean? I was just grateful to be in those spaces, and kind of made like a little bucket list. So like, hey, if I'm gonna go out, as you know, I'm gonna go out with a bang, and I haven't given up yet because stuff just became consistent, and I've learned kind of like different ways to market myself, and like I said, reach out to different organizations and people. So yeah, man, that whole turnaround I think was a great moment for me because it led to so many things I've only dreamt of a child, right? Like working at MetLife Stadium, working at Citi Field, working at Madison Square Garden, um, working for different artists and different events. It's just really it's cool, man. Like I collect like a little booklet of old flyers and ticket stubs, and one day, I want to just look back and be like, man, I don't want to say like I did it or um like yeah, look at me, but like it's just like man, in life, I feel like success is what you make it. So if you're like,
Yeah.
I just want to be a guy who cared about people and worked with some artists he respected and admired, and then I went for it. I did it. Like it's like it's a personal thing to me. It doesn't have to be blasted all over like
Yes.
like so. And then I think like that I think means the most to me at the end.
Wow.
Yeah.
I respect that, brother. I
Yeah,
respect
man.
that so much.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And let the people know, what do you love most about yourself?
Nothing. uh I think I like to know that, again, I think I mentioned it before, that I like to be fair and balanced in all things. So whether it's religion, whether it's politics, even with music, man, I just like to have a balanced approach where like if this person thinks this way and this other person thinks that way, not that I agree or disagree with either of them, but I just want to come to this conclusion or this middle ground where like this is me and my opinion, and I could extract different things or push away or throw out other stuff that I find that is not so compelling, and then I'm just me, a good listener, empathetic, compassionate, balanced, and I want wants to do good in this world and reject evil things and evil people, because I feel like we live in such an interesting time where like man, everything is so divided, and music or just entertainment and arts isn't what it used to be, and it's
Yep.
like man, if I could just again play some small role and maybe even helping another person to get to a spot that's way above me and way above all of this, then I'm all for. I think Tupac said he was like, man, I'm not saying I'll change the word, but I guarantee I sparked the brain that does. And I'm like, wow, that's pretty powerful, man. I hope if that's not me, that I can do the same.
Wow. Wow. Man,
Yeah.
man, man. DJ Khalil is a deep brother. DJ Khalil. I'm telling you. This brother's been hitting us with some hidden gems, and I've been sitting back just thinking like, man, this brother hitting us with some gems. I'm
Uh,
telling you. Wow. Wow. What does it mean to rock the party? And what are some of them go-to songs that you may go towards to get the crowd and the party rocking?
that is a good question. Um, I would say it's important to read your crowd, right? So,
Yeah.
um, I was recently at some bar that was geared towards younger people and more younger music, specifically house, dance.
Yeah.
And that night, for whatever reason, it was an older crowd and white middle aged people. And, I thought about it. And I'm like, man, let me just kind of, revert to maybe what they prefer, and that's not always, not always right.
Yeah.
Not you can't just live off assumptions, but you test the waters. And I played some, classic rock and pop, and they started dancing, and it worked. So it's important to read your crowd, and if everyone's not dancing right away or at all, it's sometimes okay because it kind of keeps you on your toes and shows you how to like navigate your preferences, your genres, your mixing.
Hmm.
But I do know that I would say the one artist that I feel like every generation kind of likes, or at least gets the party going. Again, I might get slack for this, but I think it's Pitbull. Pitbull, man,
Okay.
I just like think that he makes bangers. That's an obvious, but like if you listen to most of his songs, most of them, or a lot of them, are samples from previous generation party songs, whether it's like that Miami influence of freestyle or just freaking 90s, 80s dance music, man. He knows how to, I guess, choose producers. I don't know if he produces the music himself, but they're catchy. I think they're hot. They make people dance. They make ladies dance, and that's my goal, man. A lot of people try to cater to everyone, and for the most part, I do. But man, if you could get ladies dancing, the guys could stand on the wall bobbing their head all night. I don't care. I just want the ladies to dance, and Pitbull is one of those guys.
That's heavy.
Yeah,
That's heavy,
yeah,
brother.
yeah, yeah.
That's heavy, man. Um, I got another great question.
Go
Um,
ahead.
and I'm not gonna make it so hard where it's just one song. Uh, what are DJ Khalil's 5 favorite songs?
Oh, that's actually a tough one. In an ideal world, they'd probably be all hip hop. For obvious reasons, I'm a hip hop fan. It's my
Yeah,
favorite genre. It'd
yeah.
probably be more so boom bap, 90s hip hop.
Okay,
Um, I don't know if I could give you songs. I feel like I could give you artists, and then maybe I could give you the songs from the artist. So, like right off the bat, I'm a Tupac fan.
okay.
So, man, anything from like California Love to like I Get Around. It's just
Yeah,
classic, man. I'm a West Coast hip hop fan. That's surprising because I'm from the East Coast,
that's
and the
heavy.
East Coast practically bred some of the best rappers. But for whatever reason, I like that G Funk West Coast sound. And man,
Yeah,
Dre, Snoop, all those guys have just been like always some of my favorites. So I would say Pac, those two songs. Nas. I like Nas's newer stuff, like from the 2000s. He had like this little low key run where it's like, man, hip hop is dead, and what's the freaking other song he did? What's his name? Oh my god,
who with Jay Z?
was it with Jay Z?
Was it Joe Black Republicans?
Black Republicans, yes. And then obviously Made You Look.
Yeah.
Um,
Hey, look, that's that joint.
and then even I can like or got yourself a good gun. I got
Yeah.
into Nas a little late. I'm not gonna lie, but I appreciate it's just like the Wu-Tang. I appreciate them so much more when you go back and you're like, wow, he really was distinct and ahead of his time. So we got Pac, I got Nas, obviously Jay Z. I think Jay Z is probably my favorite rapper overall, and
Okay.
just he's got so many hits, so many generations.
Respect it.
Um, I know, like in the club, at least, anything that he did with like Pharrell or just man, that gets the
Yeah.
crowd going. Biggie, of course. Oh
Yeah.
man, Juicy's my probably go to. I got this nice edit of Juicy that plays the original one,
Okay.
so it kind of like transfers over to Biggie's version. And then
Mm.
I would say I said Jay Z, Pac, Biggie, Nas. I think fifth is Eminem. Every
Ooh.
white boy's favorite rapper, Eminem. He gets a
Yeah.
lot of flack as of late, because I guess some of his later stuff is not as good. And to me, I don't know if it's better or worse. I just feel like it's different. Like he's in a different place in his life. He overcame
Sure,
drugs. His mother passed away. His
for
kids are
sure,
grown up.
for
So
sure.
yeah, his stuff is gonna be different, and I just particularly like it. It's hard to play it in the club. Eminem, you'll never really hear a song,
Yeah,
but in an ideal world, if I had no rules and didn't care, it'd probably be something off of like the real Slim Shady, man. Just
yeah,
old school, keeping it back. That's what's really made me fell in love in hip hop was like the late '90s when like DMX came on the scene, Eminem was
yeah,
just coming up, Dre had a resurgence, and like Jay Z was also like, you know, with the Rockefeller, man. That was like my prom. Living in New York, man. That was like we were getting mixtapes and we're like, yo, what is this? And it was a great time. Nothing could ever compare. I don't think.
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, yeah, man.
Sorry, I
Look,
keep
man.
drinking water, man. I just went to Costco. I had a freaking
Oh,
Costco hot dog and pizza. It was disgusting, and now I'm like so thirsty.
no, you good. No, you good, man. I understand, man. Oh man, that is heavy right there. Yeah, man. Eminem. A lot of people sleep on Eminem, man. Eminem is one of the top lyricists of all time. One of
Yeah,
the yeah, one of the greatest lyricists of all time.
and a lot of people seem, you know, over time have questioned like his legacy because he is white and like was he really as good as people thought? Because white people bought the albums, but white people also were one of the biggest consumers of hip hop. So it's like I don't, you know, I do like to look at metrics and
Yeah,
sales and hard data, but you know, I also like to use my two ears and my brain and what
yeah,
I think
yeah,
lyrically sounds good or flows well. And
yeah.
yeah, I don't know if he's the best, but he's definitely up there with with the best.
Absolutely, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely phenomenal artist, brother. And just like so many greats, man. So many greats, man, that's in that top tier level. Eminem is definitely there.
Yeah.
Eminem is like in that top tier level of like when I think of lyricists, right? I think of Black Thought,
Mm,
Eminem, Big Pun,
big pun.
people that had the you know that super lyricist. It's some more in there. I just
Oh
you
yeah,
know
absolutely.
it's a whole lot you know like people like
Rakim, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
man.
yeah, Rakim, you got MF Doom, you got a couple you got some dudes that was heavy lyrical.
Hmm.
Um I just can't remember all of them right now, but some
No, I
heavy
get it.
lyrical
I
dudes.
get it.
Um and yeah, man, he deserved to be celebrated, man. He just as well as hip hop like anybody else, man. People need to stop the Eminem is hip hop.
Yeah.
So Eminem, man, I just want to let you know if you watching this, you are hip hop, brother.
Yeah,
We
man.
not we not push you while you hip hop, brother. So let's
Uh,
go.
yeah.
Yeah, man. So
If I could say, man, in 2 weeks I'm actually gonna be on Shade 45, and that is one of those personal goals for mine. Like, you know, man, I never may get to play alongside of Eminem, but to be on his station on Sirius FM, it's really just a blessing, and I'm really looking forward to that. By the way.
that's heavy, solid.
Yeah,
I mean, shout out to Shade 45.
yeah,
You know what I
man.
mean? Eminem with another banger. Let's go. Eminem with another banger. Let's
Yeah,
go. Let's go, him. Yeah, absolutely. Oh man, this is a great conversation, brother.
yeah, man.
As we dive into the next upcoming events, and also I want to dive back into celebrity boxing, and you know a few different events that took place. That was some huge events.
Hmm.
Past events when they had Sugar Shane Mosley, when they had Kimbo Slice Jr.
Hmm.
Um, I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to Shaq and Charlie Mack. I'm looking
Yeah,
forward to Shaq and Charlie Mack.
man.
And so many different great fights. You got Mike Davis, you got Frankie Picard, you
Hmm.
got V Hustle now. He's fighting Mono coming soon.
Yeah.
And And just to see those special events, because I know that you said you wanted to mix the music with the sports and everything, right?
Hmm.
Um, how much fun do you have at these events?
They're a lot of fun. They're a lot of work, so there's
Yeah.
a level of stress that maybe some other people are not going through. But man, when the show starts, when the artists are out there, when I'm not playing music, I'm sitting back watching the fights, and it feels like I'm almost in the ring with the action. It's very jam packed with excitement. There's always something going on. It's really engaging, man. And in an ideal world, if I could DJ instead of just like playing entrance music at times, that would also be like, man, those are some of my great times. Like before the show or during the rounds, I get to spin a little. That's the best because it's like there's two guys in the ring going at it one-on-one combat style, and like I have to kind of there's like that pressure to set the tone for the mood, the vibe, like what they're going through in the ring,
Yes.
and the crowd, like, so it's almost like a movie. It feels like a movie. Like it's like Rocky and Creed, and they got like the drama and the special effects, and so it's really cool with the role I get to play, and yeah, I'm happy to be a part of it.
Absolutely, brother.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. Are there any DJs who inspire DJ Khalil?
Yeah, I think two specifically. I don't like a lot of DJs, at least nowadays, because EDM is very big, and I get it. I play it. I like it to some degree, but I feel like if you look at the origins of hip hop and turntablism, it came straight from hip hop culture, and so I guess one of my early inspirations was always the DJ Jazzy Jeff, man. A lot of people don't really know his body of work, but if you could go on YouTube and just look at some of his sets, man. He plays just an eclectic mix of like hip hop, funk, soul, R&B, and it's just it's very simplistic, but I think it's just great. He's probably one of the better DJs of all time, and he's inspired by other favorite DJ AM. He passed away, but I feel like he was ahead of his time and set the grounds for open format DJs all over. An open format DJ is one who plays all types of music, and a lot of days people say I'm an open format DJ, but they focus on EDM or just one type of genre. But DJ AM literally took rock tracks mixed with hip hop and fused it in a way that's really was never seen before at the time and probably hasn't been replicated since. So those, two, I want to say artists, they're musicians at the end of the day, really just made me want to become a DJ and perfect my craft and listen to all types of music, out here in at least New York and well parts of New York and Jersey. Like I said, there's a big EDM scene now, and if you track EDM back to dance or house music, that goes all the way back even to Chicago and black and brown communities and the LGBTQ community where that music was essentially formed through
Mhm.
soul and all disco and all these things. So I make sure to pay homage and respect those before me and how we got to where we are today. And I like to focus on, again, the simplistic, original, even like remixes. I'm like very much not against, but like, yeah, like I like a track in its purest form created by the artist who intended his message and sound to get across a certain way. And how can I extract that,
Yeah.
to something that may be modern and remixed, but never forgetting where it came from, the essential roots of music
Mm.
and artistry.
Mm.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
Wow. That's real. That's real.
yeah, man. I've never been asked such questions before. This is really good, man. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Absolutely, man. Damn,
Yeah.
maybe we might have to add something else to DJ Khalil Real. DJ Khalil Real. That's crazy. That is crazy,
Yeah,
man.
man.
Yo, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, this is excellent, man. Absolutely.
Uh-huh.
Last but not least, right? Um, before we wrap up,
Uh-huh.
what advice do you have for younger brothers that want to dive into the entertainment field? They may want to become DJs. They may want to become artists. What advice do you have for these brothers to stay focused? What advice do you have for these brothers to definitely work on their craft and also stay true to themselves?
It's funny you mention that because I'm actually releasing a book later this month. It's it's a silly little short read. It's called How to Accomplish Everything You Ever Wanted While Still Sucking at Life.
Wow,
So
wow.
basically, it's a how-to manual, right? Whether it's wanting to become a DJ, an artist, a musician, just better your overall life. I feel like there's some key, simple principles I follow that I always share with others. Especially people who want to be DJ. And it's like, man, stay true to yourself. If you like this music or if you're this style of DJ, stay true to it. Perfect it. Be consistent. Put
Yes.
yourself out there. Don't be afraid to fail. I mentioned success before is what you make it. So if your goal is to play one DJ gig and retire after that, then you're a success if you land that in one gig. It's important to aim high, but be realistic. Not everyone is going to be a good DJ or not everyone's going to be a good musician. It doesn't mean you shouldn't try it or give up, but you should find what you're good at or what you're passionate about and, go from there. Um, Something as simple as driving in your car, listening to music and becoming familiarized with different, genres and beats and sounds and how you could apply that into your own sets and how you could, put stuff online for people to share, people to could constructively criticize and get out there, go in the world and play a gig, even if you don't get paid and even if you mess up, there's worth and value, I think, in that. And, if you could do it full time, if you could do it part time, if you could do it as a hobby, listen, I'm all for it. If you want to hit me up personally, I have no problem sharing ideas and thoughts and even helping others because a lot of people do like to gatekeep or their time is up and they're holding on to something that they should have gave up years ago. And I'm not like that, man. I have a lot going on and DJing is just one part of it.
Yes.
But yeah, man. Stay true to yourself and stay true to your craft. That's all. That's all I can really say.
That's heavy.
Mhm.
That's heavy. That's heavy. That was some real words. Let's go. DJ Khalil Real, man. Absolutely, brother. Oh man. Um, let the people know where they can find you at.
I'm on all social media. DJ Khalil. That's DeeJayKhalil. Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Mixcloud, LinkedIn, SoundCloud. It goes on and on. You can also visit my website, and all the links are there, DJKhalil.com. That's DeeJayKhalil.com. And yeah, man, I will be at Celebrity Boxing later in the month. I hope you're there. It's always good connecting with you.
Oh, you know it. You know it, brother. I will definitely be there.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So y'all heard it, folks. Listen, go check out, go support DJKhalil.com.
Mm,
He on every platform. So you
sir.
can't miss. He on IG, he on LinkedIn, man, the whole link tree. He's everywhere. So listen, this brother right here is, man, a very, very special brother, man. Listen, man, thank you for tapping in, brother. Thank you,
Thank you,
man.
brother.
So,
I
so
appreciate it. Let me get that.
absolutely, absolutely, brother. So listen, man. Each and every week, listen, we can have your favorite DJ. Listen, we could have your favorite poet. We could have your favorite artist. Listen, we could have your favorite football coach. We could have the little girl with the lemonade stand down the street, or it could be you. So listen, we are the platform of truth, the home of the champions, and the place where we uplift man, woman, and child. Peace and love, y'all. One.
Later, bro.
Yo.